This is TWiT.
Microsoft and I would say Pavan Davalori specifically have been talking about transitioning Windows into an agentic OS, right? And so unfortunately, in the language people are using, sometimes it's a little too marketing. It's like, like Yusuf Mehdi will say things like, we've completely rewritten Windows from the ground up. No, you haven't. No,
Why would you say that? And I'm sure the engineers didn't say that. I expect
no, but you know that so some audience that sounds good, and to people who know how things work, it sounds like you're lying. It's like, no, you didn't. Like you didn't. But
you didn't.
You didn't. So anyway, we're going to have AI agents in Windows, of course. I mean, of course we are, right? And I guess they did I missed it. The time was actually my time. I thought it was on like the actual time of the place, where they are in San Francisco, and it wasn't. So I missed it. I'll watch it on recap, but there is a session at Build that was at 11 a.m. my time this morning, so it passed, but where they actually showed this off apparently. So I'm kind of eager to look at this. But if you are following Windows 11 and how it's evolving, that little search box thing down there is going to turn into, well, depending on who you are, you might already have this. It's turning into like the kind of new Copilot interaction point. So depending on what you type in there, it's either going to launch Copilot or launch the search, if you're looking for a file or doing a web search, whatever it might be. But they're talking about like AI agents, like kind of living in the taskbar, which is freaking people out,
I just think there's enough rage about anything called AI at this particular moment.
Yep.
That the folks living in the bubble,
right,
and Pavan is one of them, just stepped in it. It's like, hey, we're all tired of this.
So I'm going to say, you're right. I'm going to suggest that there are two bubbles. And the other bubble is the people like you and I, who are middle-aged or above, been around for a while, have seen it all. We see this for the nonsense. And you get the people in this audience who are like, nobody wants to talk to a computer. Nobody. Or nobody asks for this crap. Nobody. Or, blah, 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 whatever. And then look, there's an easy sort of digression or sidestep you can make around this by saying something like, I wouldn't mind if you did this, if you just made Windows reliable and secure and everything worked and there weren't ads everywhere and like all that stuff. And you're like, that's cute. But that's not happening. But those two things should both happen, right? Or could both happen, I had someone reach out to me. Well, many people did have about this topic, but one guy said something like, "Oh, I'm sure this is what all Windows users are clamoring for," or something. And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I appreciate the fact that this thing is 40 years old. They're trying to modernize it. If it doesn't make this transition, it's probably not coming along for the ride. Like that's how they see it." And we can sort of argue and debate the marketing of AI and the efficacy of what they have and blah blah blah, whatever. I mean. I'm interested in seeing what this looks like really, but this thing is either going to advance, progress, evolve, however you want to say it, or it isn't, and they have decided it is. And so I don't know. I just the problem I have is like people get very specific, like keep your hands off my notepad kind of a thing. It's like somehow Notepad was perfect in 1996 and we should never touch it. And I'll tell you, I use Notepad every day.
Are you talking about Mary Jo Foley by any chance?
Well, yeah. I mean, yes, but
there's a lot of people
like her, people her age, people our age, people. That's what I mean. Like this audience, it's like, it's weird to me that we as professionals, somehow when we were at our peak forum, that's when all software was perfect. And now we don't touch it anymore. And it's like, I don't know. Like when you were 27 years old, you'd be excited by this. But all I can say to those two apps in particular, Paint and Notepad, is those are actually demonstrably better than they've ever been. Those apps are fantastic. So it can work. It doesn't mean I go in and co-create with Paint every day. I don't ever actually, but it doesn't bother me that it's there. I mean, geez, like have a little empathy.
We're going to get your Paint MVP with that attitude, Paul. Honestly.
Yes, I'm shooting for it, but no. So So before Ignite, there were a couple things that kind of just got onto my nerves a little bit, sort of in this space. One is Dave Plummer, who I like, former Microsoft engineer. Everyone knows that because he talks about it all the time.
Watch his stuff.
I don't agree
with him,
I watch every video he makes.
Stuff.
Yep. and he made a video about how Windows sucks. And
So clickbait.
yep. And it was 20 minutes of nothing. It was nothing. And my problem with it was not him. I like him. He's smart, whatever. I like his, I'm interested in him, but he's not helping anyone. He doesn't have any advice for anybody. He doesn't have any ideas about how you could do things. If I were running Microsoft, I would put a power user switch in so everyone could turn off all the crap. It's like, yeah, that's cute. Yeah, that's not happening. So that's stupid. But how about actually,
buddy?
no, I mean, it's just like, but at worst, that's just noise, right?
Yeah.
It's not helpful. It's whatever. You might be interested in the topic, so you listen to it.
And you're not wrong. At best, it's just noise. The reality is that it stops people from actually making things better, which you can do.
No, it's like, I just wish Microsoft would listen to Dave. And it's like, oh, guys, stop.
Yeah,
like,
come on.
I've been talking about this for years, for crying out loud, like decades. I have created like a Windows 11 and certification checklist, and these are the things. And every time I evaluate any software that fixes some of these problems, I see how well it does against the checklist. And we'll talk about that again actually at the end of the show. But I am trying to solve the problem, like for people, like actually solve it, right? Like the world is the way it is. Like, how can we fix it? I have some ideas there, but whatever. So there's that. Not a big deal. Like, I wouldn't have probably written about that, but Pavan Davalori, rather, about a week ago, 10 days ago, just innocuous little promotional thing. I'm going to be at Ignite.
Really his first message since he has reunified Windows and going to take into space over. It's like, all right, Pavan,
but you understand.
Pulling for you. Go ahead. Come step out in the minefield, boys. Let's go.
I don't think he wrote it. I think he has handlers. I think some marketing person wrote it. So big. All it was I'm going to be at Ignite and I'm going to appear in this session. But it repeated the 1.5 sentences of, we're turning into Windows into an agentic OS. Come along for the, come see what we're doing. And
scare people, I have to say.
This guy was, well, who saw him tweet anything? Who is this guy? Nobody knows who he is. He runs Windows. I know who he is. But
he's the boss, right?
Yeah, but he's
the new
not,
boss.
Like, first of all, I don't know him personally or anything like that, but what I've seen him seems like a well-spoken, nice guy, smart. Obviously he works for this big company and they have whatever strategic aims they have and all this kind of stuff. But I like that he's an engineer, and we'll see. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. But the sheer weight of crap that fell on this guy, personal attacks, threats, a lot of people apparently speaking for the planet, like guys who don't know anything about anything, or like, nobody wants this. Nobody asked for this. And it's like, that's what they said to Steve Jobs. He made an iPhone. Look, I'm not saying that what they're doing right now here exactly, or what they're going to do in long term. Is any good? I have no idea. But the reaction to this is the same reaction that I see on a smaller scale, because I don't run Windows, but in my own, like, anytime there's anything like, the little announcement about, we're going to be talking to our computers in addition to touch and type and pen and all the other ways we can interact with computers. Nobody wants to talk to computers. Like, okay, maybe you don't want to talk to a computer, but I actually talk to things all the time. And honestly, I feel like I can babble out instructions to something a lot better than I can type exact prompts and things. Like, I actually think the talking to your computer thing is going to be a thing. I'm sorry, but I know that
it won't be the only thing, but it is a thing.
It will be a thing. So look, we'll see. But the sheer amount of hate and terribleness that this guy received from us, I mean, literally me and people like me, it made me so sad. There is no call for that. And until he proves otherwise, and we find out he is a terrible person and he is evil and he's been doing things from the inside to undermine Windows or something, which, by the way, has happened. Then we can have a discussion about that stuff. But attacking this guy and really technical people who apparently speak for the masses when your needs and wants are 1% of 1% of what people do with Windows. Like, you do not speak for us. Like, it freaked me out how awful this was. So the only thing I just to conclude this, I don't want to go on too long because I could literally go hours on this topic. A lot of threats. This is why I'm leaving Windows. This is why I already left Windows. This is why whatever. Leave. Then leave. We're better off without you. You are just noise. You are just noise. If you have something constructive you'd like to say about this, if you've actually, you don't even know what it is yet. So you can't even say anything quite yet. But it's just, it makes me really sad that we've gotten this change averse, this myopic, this insular, this everything was great. Pick your time frame. And because it wasn't. Mm-hmm. It was never great. There were always problems.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Will this be Windows 8 again? I don't know. You don't know either.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this little highlight from a much better show and longer too, called Windows Weekly. The whole link to the show is right below me. And of course, we stream live right here every Wednesday. You can watch us do our thing or download it here or in your favorite podcast player. Best thing to do? What do they say? Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.